Hello dancers, welcome back to my channel. Today is very exciting because we're talking about stage makeup. Now this makeup I would say is sort of for a middle line show. So this would be something you could do at a party, a restaurant, a small stage venue, something that is still considered to be up close. For a full stage look, I would do a little bit more than this, mostly with just the eye makeup and the hair and a few other things. So there are some adjustments that I do make for like a full theater setting, but if you would like to learn how to do this look here, then keep watching.
Alright, let's begin. So I have already put on a few basics. I like to use Redness Reliever eye drops in my eyes and on my skin to reduce redness, basic moisturizer. And you're also going to want to use a pore primer of some sort. It really helps the makeup to go on very smoothly and lovely. So here's my super beat up eyeshadow palette. Yep, it's real life, guys. My makeup doesn't sit in a drawer. And then here, I forgot to say in the beginning, put on a lip balm. I like to use one with peppermint oil in it to plump my lips up. Yep, nice and plump, sure. And then we're going to take our brushes. You're going to need lots of those. I don't know why I felt the need to show you that. And oh, we're closer now. So here we're going to take a light champagne color as the base, and we're just going to make sure to get that nice and wet. We're just going to apply that straight on the eyelid. There's no real technique for that. You just slap it on there, as I like to say for some reason. You always want to slap it on. That's the best way to apply your makeup. So very simple, right on the eyelid. Now we're going to take this pinker color. And by the way, this is the Revolution brand. This palette was $6 and I absolutely love it. Highly recommend this brand. I believe they are also cruelty free. I will double check. All of the products will be linked in the description box, of course, so if you feel like you absolutely have to have the same one I'm using, you can go and get it. But the truth is, most eyeshadow and most makeup, it's going to look the same once you have it on. You can really use anything that's a similar color to get the same effect. So here I'm just taking that same pinkish color and I'm going under my eyes a little bit. This is going to help create the illusion of a larger eye as we go on. And now we're going to take this much darker purplish pink shade and we're going to go into the outer corner. And the technique here, don't do that, that was dumb. And the technique here is to make sort of a V or C shape on the outer side of the eye. Now, I'd like to take a second to point out that the way that you apply your products is going to largely depend on your eye shape. My eyes are, I guess, what you would call almond shape. They're not particularly round. I know, for instance, I apply my makeup a little differently than some of my colleagues who have much rounder, larger eyes. Not that my eyes are small, I suppose, but they're a little different shape. Going in, this is a matte color, so I don't like to use too much of it, but it does help add a little bit of dimension and give just a bit of shadow. Which, the point here, so the theory here, you do not have to follow the colors or even the exact placement that I do. You need to experiment and find your own method that works for your face and eye shape and your goals. Now we're going in with a big fluffy brush here. And we're going to add even more deep color. Or I'm sorry, we're actually just blending right now. Just blending all of that out. Very important. But the theory behind eyeshadow placement is that you want to create, number one, larger eyes so that they show up on stage and don't get washed out. And you also want to create depth and dimension, which is exactly what we are doing with eyeshadow. So now we're going to add a little bit more depth to the crease with the brown and purplish shades mixed together and just really focusing on blending right here. Blending is especially important if you're going to be anywhere near your audience. If you're going to be on a very large stage, you would actually blend a little bit less because you really want to create dimension and definition. So you're blending again because this is a look for an average show. So we don't want to walk up to people with like harsh lines. We want everything to diffuse and blend very beautifully while still creating that contour. What are we doing now? We're going to take the smaller brush. I love this one. Got it at Walmart. I think it was $1 from e.l.f. Cosmetics. Love it. And we're going to take a black eyeshadow. This one is from MAC. This was a limited edition one, but there are plenty that are similar from MAC. I also recommend Urban Decay, even though they're super expensive. I do really like their eyeshadow. And they're nice because you can just pop in the single colors into your bag, and they take up a lot less room than a full palette, and they don't break as easily, which is excellent. If you're a professional dancer, you are slinging that makeup left and right into your bag, into your suitcase, into your makeup bag, and it usually gets absolutely wrecked, which is why my palette that I used in the beginning was super broken. So that's just a little tip. Single eyeshadows are great for that, but you know what? I think that $12 or whatever those MAC or Urban Decay ones are, I think that's overpriced. So here, yep, just drawing attention to the fact that we are really placing those dark colors, like this dark purple as well that I'm using, into the outer corner of the eye. You don't want these dark shadows coming anywhere near the center of your face. You want this all on the outside, which is going to draw the eye outward, making your eyes look a bit wider, making them look more open, but also creating the definition to give you an actual eye socket shape from a distance. Because when we're on a stage, under lights, or dancing far away from our audience, all of your features get flattened out. So yeah, draw everything out. See where I've placed my brush? That's to show you the line from the outer corner of the eye. You want to draw straight up towards the point of your eyebrow tip to create a really natural looking shape. So here I've gone in with a brighter pink color just to give a bit more color, just to do something a little bit different. I've really been enjoying the pink colors lately. And then if you ever saw my last makeup tutorial from a couple years ago, this is, you can tell I love this product. I'm still using it. I've had this for years. I don't know if NYX is still making this roll-on shimmer. If they are, holy cow, go out and buy some. It's probably $6, I want to say, and lasts forever. I think I've used this to some degree at every show for years, and I still have plenty. It was a little hard to get out of the container, which is why I applied it to my hand and then used the brush to put it on. Now, here you just want to go in and clean up any fallout that you might have had with a tissue or a baby wipe. I really recommend that you just have baby wipes on hand, ready to go. Eyeliner. So eyeliner is kind of a stumbling block for a lot of people, but the trick is to keep your hand and your eye very relaxed. You'll notice I'm applying it with my eyes open. One reason for that is because you want to draw the shape to look good when your eyes are open, not when they're closed, because you're not walking around with your eyes closed, are you? No. So I know this is hard for some people. I don't have much of a blink reflex, so it has gotten easier for me over the years, but all I can say is that practice makes perfect, and you really can't practice too much. So a few notes here. You can tell I'm going right over my eyelashes, and that is going to help reduce any noticeable difference between our lashes and the false lashes we'll apply later. The other thing I'm doing is I'm drawing the wingtip from the outside inward. This helps because you're starting at the finest point and moving downward. So as you naturally apply more pressure, the line is going to get thicker. So if you apply your line and your wing outward, it's difficult to actually reduce pressure towards the outside. So that works for me. I don't know if it works for everyone else. You'll also see I'm starting that line right about at the edge of my shadow and in line with the point of my eyebrow. Next, we're going in with brows. And I like to do this before I do my highlight on my brow bone. I don't always do that, but I did do it here, and it's just so that we can get a more precise application on the brow bone highlight. Can't decide where to put my mirror. Don't mind me. And now we're going to just go in, and I've got a powder color that I'm applying here. Yep. Make sure you do straight lines from the inside corner all the way out. So just go in with a steady hand and nice and firm stroke, just all the way out. And then we're going in with a little bit of the gel on the outside because some of my eyebrow hairs were just not cooperating. I really only use this as needed. There's the other side. I figure you don't really need to see both. So here's the highlight color. I'm going in with a plain white first, and I'm actually using a kind of a flat edge brush to create a lot of definition. And it's difficult to see this on camera for some reason, but in person this is a very, very bright white, which is great because you want to reflect light, and that's going to cause contrast between the crease that we've created and make you look like you've got eyeballs. It's always nice to look like you have eyeballs. So, there's that. I feel like I've been editing everything so that I have to talk very quickly except for very short parts. So here, again, you cannot tell. I've gone in over this with a bit more of a champagne color. And that's just to soften that color out. Blend, 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 blend. And now we're going to go in with a fiber lash primer. This is optional, of course, and sometimes these can be difficult to find. This, I realized as I was applying it, is actually super dried up. I haven't used it in a little while, so there's basically no effect here. However, before it dried up, it actually worked quite well, and it created a bit of length. Then I'm going in with another fiber mascara. There's definitely pros and cons to using a fiber mascara. It does produce relatively long lashes. It does seem to actually increase the length, but I really don't like the process of removing it because it pills and kind of gets in my eyes. So, I mean, I like this one, and it's all natural, vegan, cruelty-free, all that good stuff, but I'm not really that picky with mascara. So much closer now. So now I'm going to show you, or try to show you, tight lining or lining the waterline. Now you can use a pencil eyeliner for this. I really like to use just a regular liquid eyeliner. It just takes some practice. And unfortunately, I should have filmed this from a lower angle because you can't actually see, but the effect here is that there is not a lighter line underneath your lashes. And then we're going in with the pencil eyeliner underneath the lashes, and this is just going to help kind of create a little bit more of a smoky effect. And now it's time for face. So we're going to go in, this is the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation, and always make sure your brushes are clean. So here, if they're not, you can just kind of quickly wipe it off on a baby wipe. It's not the same as really cleaning it. I do try to clean mine for every probably 2 or 3 applications, but didn't have time to wash them before this video, sorry. So apply it to the brush, and yeah, just slap it on there, as I like to say. Sorry if this grosses you out, this is my nose ring. Sorry, maybe I should have edited that out, but whatever. Real life, if you're squeamish, I do apologize. But if you have piercings, I do recommend removing them just so you get that foundation in nice and close, and then you just pop it back in later after giving it a quick little clean so it's nice and sparkly. Otherwise, you're just going to put makeup on over your jewelry and it's going to be all cakey and yucky, and that's defeating the purpose of having jewelry. Applying the foundation, there's no real rhyme or reason to it, other than that for stage it's very important to get even coverage. And as you watch, you'll kind of see it. I'm going in close to my hairline, I'm going around the edge of my face, I will even apply it to my earlobes and down my neck and onto my chest. And this is because under bright lights you can have kind of a bit more stark contrast between colors that you wouldn't really notice just looking in the mirror. And so it's really important that you just blend everything very seamlessly downward. So even though it may be a little bit repetitive or boring, I decided to leave that in so that you can see just how important it is. And you can also see there's a couple blemishes on my chest that it's nice to just cover that up as well. And now we're going in with powder. This is from the Revolution brand as well. This is a loose powder. I believe it's $6, and it's a huge quantity of it. Much better value than a pressed powder, although it is inconvenient in the sense that it is messy. But I just, as you saw, I just tip it directly onto the brush and just apply it fairly heavily. You really want to make sure that you're setting your makeup and that you're sort of preventing sweat from bleeding through. Then we're going to go in with a smaller brush and we're going to apply it slightly more concentrated amount around the eyes and around the mouth. I don't know, kind of all over. Now we're going in for contour. And this is the Physicians Formula powder. And I'm facing directly into the mirror to make sure that I'm contouring symmetrically. That's extremely important. And then you want to apply it deftly with a nice steady hand. So I'm showing you two things. I'm showing you how most people contour because I do feel like that is really honestly what most people would need. But you'll see how I'm blending it. I already have fairly prominent cheekbones and a fairly wide set jaw, so I prefer to blend the line of my cheek contour down into the line of my jaw contour. And again, I left all of this here because I want you to see how important it is to blend everything super well together. Notice that I'm holding the brush upward and not at an angle along the front of my chin. Now, of course, because I'm blending up into my jawline, that's fine, but you don't want to get makeup on your chin. So here's the blush. You want to use a fairly good amount and just patting it on. Now, this is really great. See how the side that's facing the camera, you can see that blush go on there quickly, but there's more light on the side of my face closer to the mirror because that's where my light is. This is a great example illustrating how much stage lights will wash you out, because when I look straight into the mirror, that was even. Now we're going to exfoliate lips. This is important before we apply lipstick because lipstick can be a bit drying and it's going to highlight any cracks or flakes or dry spots. So wipe off that lip balm. This is optional. You can use a lip plumper if you want. I don't know if the effects are really all that long lasting, but it does give a little bit of blood flow and makes your lips a little pouty. Then we're going to go in so carefully with the lip liner. And this was so boring to watch. You just want to start on your Cupid's bow and take your time with this. You can tell I'm like in the zone. I'm going so slow. And then look at the difference here. So I prefer a rounded Cupid's bow, but that is up to you. And then we're just going all the way around. So technically the shade on the left here is a better match for the lip liner. However, we want to create some dimensions. So we're going to go in with the slightly brighter shade and we're going to create a 3D effect on the lips. And I apply it straight out of the bottle. You can use a lip brush if you want. Personal choice. And I just love these shades. This is a great brand. They're expensive, but I really like their products. Yep. So moving on to eyelashes, if you're using a used pair, you want to scrape off any glue that is stuck on there. Very important. And then we're also going to just work to break up the band. This is going to help prevent them from popping off. Let's make sure that it's not stuck in one shape. Hold it up to your eye and make sure that it covers 3/4 of the eye and not all the way to the inner corner. And I use Elmer's glue to apply my eyelashes. This is surprising to some people. However, this is a perfectly safe, non-toxic, washable, water-soluble glue. It's totally safe. And I tried to show you how I put it on. Honestly, it just didn't work. So skipping ahead, putting on the eyelashes. Now, the reason they go on so easily is because I broke up that band. Most of the time, if you just grab a pair of eyelashes right out of the box, they are too big for most eyes, and they are very stiff, and that's why people have them pop off constantly. So you actually need to wiggle the band around until it is not stiff anymore. You need it to be pliable so that it will fit on your eye. And then you just want to press down on the inner and outer corners and sit back and let it dry. It takes a bit, but let it dry. And voila, there we go. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, so I've turned off the bright light that I use to apply my makeup just to show you a little bit more under some typical lighting. So the lights that I have here almost more simulate stage lights. So you really do, if you want to look good under bright lights, you have to do your makeup under bright lights as well. And if you're going to be in a darker venue, just make sure that you check how your makeup looks in that darker setting. But don't be alarmed if it looks really crazy up close. That is the point. You could even use a larger lash than this right now up close. I would probably do a little bit larger. But this is all I have, and I don't like going to the store just to buy makeup these days. Maybe if I need other things as well, but I do try to limit my trips to the store. But yes, anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it. I always love any excuse to put on makeup because it's fun. It can be really challenging to learn. I know when I really started my actual career, I would just practice doing my stage makeup fairly frequently. I mean, every few weeks maybe more than that. Probably anytime that I bought new makeup, I would then practice. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. I think I'll also, really quickly, I'll turn off this light as well to show you under just the light from outside. It is raining, so it's not a sunny day, but I'll do that real quick. And now it's fairly dark. Maybe there's no point in me showing that, but what I love though is that even in the dark light, I still have features, and especially this bright lipstick, this Carmine shade is just lovely. But this is probably more what it's going to look like when you're on stage, because you're going, all of the things are going to just diffuse and dim on the stage. So, alright, let's turn the lights back on. There we go. We'll just do that one for now. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope that you will subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Definitely comment if you have a favorite tip or if you have a question. And thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep dancing.